So it looks like not even a couple days after the election, Trudeau is appealing the court decision to allow the rebel media to cover the debates. And we all know why, because they were the only journalists there who asked the tough questions, who made the politicians squirm, made them look bad. Also, a lot of the clips that they had went viral, were seen by millions of people. Whereas the other journalists, we don't even know what questions they asked. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody knows. Nobody gives a shit because they're only gonna ask what the government tells them to ask because they know they're getting a lot of money from Trudeau, from the state. So they're not gonna ask tough questions. They're gonna throw some softballs so they ensure they get that funding in the future. That's why this funding is so horrible, and why it needs to be cut off immediately. But he's trying to appeal this decision, and he's probably going to lose Trudeau. But it's going to cost like $50,000 to $75,000 to appeal this decision. So, this is another tactic that people use is they try to just bring you to the court, to court constantly, even though they know you have a case. It doesn't matter because it's still going to cost you money, time out of your day to go to the court and do these proceedings, meet with lawyers, pay lawyers. This is time that you're now spending on that when you could be spending doing investigations, doing actual reporting or whatnot. But the thing that the left has that the right doesn't have is backers, people that have a lot of money. We don't have a George Soros. The left, they think the Koch brothers are funding a lot of us and stuff, but like, no, 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 they're globalist, just like you, and they're funding off the sure they fund some right wing kind of libertarian stuff, but a lot of the stuff they also fund would is not going to benefit people on the right. But and they're not funding Ezra Levant's court cases or the alt rights court cases when they get sued or being apprehended by the police, or the Patriot boys, or not the Patriot boys, I can't remember their name, but all these different like right wing groups, the soldiers of Odin. There's nobody paying these people's court cases, but they're paying Antifas. There's a group of like 5, 6 kids right now that are suing the Canadian government on behalf of climate change, and the David Suzuki Foundation is paying for that. So this is something that they have that we don't have. What we have is us, is the little bits of money that we can scrounge and give to people like, Ezra, right? And, I don't trust Ezra 100% either. I think he's kind of, I think he's doing a service in Canada at the very least. But when it comes to certain things about Israel, then I'm, don't really listen to him. Take it with a grain of salt. But largely, he's still doing a beneficial service for Canadians by, exposing a lot of stuff from politicians on the left, and asking questions that need to be asked during debates, like was asked with his reporters and stuff, and why they're trying to keep them out. So we need more of that instead of less. And it's not going to cost a lot of money to help with this campaign or with the court costs. Like if everybody gives $5, $10, that's like a couple bags of chips and some chocolate bars and a drink or something, right? Like food is expensive these days, so you can't get a whole lot for $10. But 750 people give $10 each. There's 7,500 or whatever the math is. I'm not great at math, but it doesn't take a whole lot of people, and there's way more than 1,000 or 2,000 people that support these types of news organizations that don't have a complete leftward bent. We got all of our taxpayer money being stolen from us, being given to left-wing organizations like the CBC and all this crap, but there's nothing being given to people on the right and these organizations, right? Do you think like the Toronto, I don't know if the Toronto Sun is going to be getting any money from the Liberals, even though they're pretty conservative as well. But the actual people like True North, Rebel Media, a couple other I'm kind of forgetting right now. They're the ones actually doing real reporting, asking real questions, and these are the ones that need to be supported by people like you and me. I can afford $10, and so can you a lot of the times. And like I said before, yes, maybe Ezra isn't the most trustworthy guy, but I saw the document. It looks like there is an appeal. Looks like this is legit, and it would set a really bad precedent for other journalists in the future if they were to lose this. If they couldn't challenge the appeal and it was able to go through, so then they could block journalists who don't have the right mindset or the right background, etc., to get into the debates. So this is going to be bad for everybody if they lose that, and they're probably going to get the money even if you don't donate a shitload. But this is putting more and more pressure on right-wing news agencies to do their job, because they're spending time dealing with this garbage as opposed to going out like that Keenan guy and going in and questioning Greta and her family and stuff, which was hilarious. And a lot of the other stuff, I think that this guy, I think his name was Keenan, I can't remember, that blonde guy who's been who's been viral quite a few times lately. But I think we need to support the rebel in this situation at the very least. Like I said, it's not going to cost too much, and if we work together and if we pool our funds and resources together, we can help people that are in need, especially when it's going to help us in the future by not setting a terrible precedent that is going to affect us for years to come. And it's despicable that he's challenging this stuff. He's just it's smoke and mirrors. He's clearly just a scumbag liar. Oh, I want to be the most transparent leader in the history of Canada. And we see, how that actually played out. He's trying to censor the only people asking him tough questions, but that's not a surprise. But either way, guys, if you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.